We teach other people the ways in which we interact. I mean, how many people learned how to lie to their husband or lie to their wife from their parents?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, I know I love The Simpsons. And Marge, there are several episodes, but Marge often talks about, burying down your feelings into a tight little ball and never talking about them. And letting those things grind on them. Now, granted, somehow Marge and Homer have been married for 20 some odd years.
And their kids are still the same age.
Their kids are still the same age, still creating the same results. Moment to moment. Maybe once they change their results, they will age.
And they'll grow?
Yes, like Groundhog's Day. Yes. Simpsons is like Groundhog's Day. Yeah. So I'm wondering, since we learn these habits, I mean, how many of us experience broken homes? I know your parents are still together.
Right.
My parents are not. But I get that the majority of people now are experiencing broken homes, and yet we're still patterning our way of interacting around broken relationships.
Well, yeah, I mean, my parents are still technically married, but I felt, that I came from a broken home because there was no relationship. There still is no relationship. The love and communication is not there, and it never has been.
Well, and how many times have you had a conversation with your mother where she has shared with you things that your dad does that she doesn't like? And she has never said this to him.
Yep, every single time I talk to her.
That's awesome. Because how do I coach someone who's unwilling to take the steps to actually cause something different? Mm-hmm. Because I promise everyone listening out there, that if you choose honesty, if you choose to just say and speak what works and what doesn't work for you in the relationship, and you as a partnership work together to create a scenario and a situation that works for both of you. If that's the toilet paper goes this way and the towels go this way and the clothes go here and the car goes here, those little things then translate into a way of handling the big things.
Yep. And the respect for the give and take as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that it's important to me in my relationship that I speak my truth and what works for me, and I absolutely love when I receive that in return. Because it's important to me what works and doesn't work for the other person. Even if I'm in relationship, in a relationship with the checker at the grocery store or the gas station attendant or Melissa or my boss at work, all of those are relationships. And all of those opportunities to be honest, to speak truth, and to be in alignment with what works and doesn't work for me is the only way I can create a life that works.
Yeah.
Because I want every aspect of my life to work. I do not want to draw a bubble around a particular relationship and say everything in my life works except that, and I'm okay with that. I can deal with that not working. Who's okay with that? Who's okay with almost? That doesn't work. Either life is easy, joyful, free, and full of peace, or it is not. Because there is only this moment, and in this moment, I want to experience those things, and the only way I know how to do it is to be authentically honest. So that when something shows up that doesn't work for me, I acknowledge it and speak it into the space so that it can be handled. Because here I'm looking at relationships this week that have failed 20 years and a year. They're celebrating their 1-year anniversary this weekend. Or not. Probably not celebrating, and I know that each of them in themselves are powerful, amazing people. And for whatever reason, at some point, they made the conscious decision to go unconscious. Like starting a wildfire. They're done incidentally, accidentally, by people who went unconscious. And then by the time they wake up, sometimes it's too late. Sometimes it is too late to handle something that bothered you 6 months ago and has been raking on you. And as a result of it raking on you, you've been distant and withdrawn because they should know. They should love me enough to know. You know what? That is the sickest statement I've ever heard. And I've heard it over and over and over again as I've worked with different people and couples. They should know that this bothers me. Well, why?
Did you tell him?
Exactly. Did you tell them in a constructive way, not in a chucking things across the room way? Because yes, that would be clear. But then what damage do you create in that action? Because if we could handle these situations from an authentic and an honest space in the moment that they don't work for us, like literally in the moment, like if you're walking down the grocery store and your husband farts down aisle 6 in front of the pasta sauce, you could just shut your mouth. Or if that doesn't work for you, maybe you want to say something, because then when your relationship falls apart in a steaming heap in 3 years from now and you say, and I hate when you fart on aisle 6,
You bastard.
he's going to say, why didn't you tell me? I thought you loved that. I thought you loved when I fart under the covers and then put your head under there. Because people are not mind readers.
No.
And you know what? Even if we were, it is not fair to expect them to be. Because mind reading involves judgment.
Yes.
I can read your facial expressions and your attitude, and then I have to judge what all of that information means. But I can only judge it from what I experience. And I say, okay, well, let's see. She's all pissed off at me now. She's not talking to me. She hasn't talked to me since we were buying pasta in the store. Mm-hmm. And now, what are those things put together? She must hate Albertsons. She hates the grocery store.
Or she doesn't want to go grocery shopping.
She doesn't want to go grocery shopping with me.
Uh-huh.
And she doesn't want to spend time with me.
Yep.
And so now I don't go to the grocery store. I'm not going to go to the grocery store because I love her enough not to go to the grocery store with her. So then I choose not to go to the grocery store with her. And then
she's resentful because she's doing it by herself.
Exactly. She has to go to the grocery store by herself.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's outrageous that that's what mind reading produces. And then when the relationship expires 3 years from now in a steaming heap, along with farting on the grocery store aisle while buying pasta, she's going to throw in, and you never go shopping with me. You never spend time with me. And it continues. This ball of victim that we create for ourselves. We build this little stew of victim, and we just keep adding ingredients. And then we want everyone to taste it with us, because then when the relationship falls, we don't become accountable and say, oh, look at how I created this breakdown and look at the ways in which I went unconscious and made choices that caused breakdown. Mm-hmm. I go to my mom and she sympathizes with my breakdown and says, oh, yes, that relationship was doomed to begin with. You rushed into it. Or I go to my best friends and we sit around and we talk about all the ways in which men and women are stupid, mm-hmm. and it could never work anyways. Rather than being accountable. And then we spread this disease around.